talking about. Those are the movies
Yeah.
that were. Silent Night was the one with Rick Flag. Oh yeah. Dude, I never did see that.
Was that the one? Yeah, it was with the guy from the I
S-
can't think of his name. He was just in the
Suicide Squad.
Thank you. Yeah, and the fucking show I watched. Anyways,
God, how old are you, bro?
what happened?
Fuck.
Anyways, moving on.
Moving on. We've got some movie reviews. Let's talk about In a Violent Nature, Tone.
Yeah.
This is a movie that started generating some buzz at Cannes Film Festival. There was a lot of buzz regarding the people that went and saw it kind of pre-screening it. You and I saw the trailer for it, and we were just like, this looks pretty fucking dope. And the concept is very simple. This is a slasher film inspired by movies like Friday the 13th and Halloween, all from the perspective of the killer. So this isn't going to play out. This does not play out like a Friday the 13th movie where you got stupid guy stumbling upon a grave.
You get a little of that.
You get a little bit of that, and then Jason comes out and kills them, but you don't get the, hey, let's go back to the counselors for a good 20 minutes for their stupid bullshit and some TNA, which is the good stuff, and then Jason shows up. You get all the Jason kills, but then you get to find out what Jason's been doing in between kills.
Yeah, well,
And that's where this show is. I really do honestly believe this is going to be one of those movies, man, where there's going to be no gray area. Hey, Brian, what's going on there? Man, I haven't seen Brian.
Yeah. How you doing,
What's
buddy?
up, baby boy?
that's why I was pointing. Like, what's up, dude?
There's
Good to see
my
you.
guy.
Hope you're well.
So, like, this is going to be a movie that I think people are either going to really enjoy or they're going to fucking hate it. There is not going to be a middle of the road with this movie.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
But, like, from my perspective, like, going into this, I remember talking to you about this before it came out. I go, so it's from the perspective of the killer. What, are they just going to show him walking through the woods the whole time? Yes, they are.
Sure are.
And that's where, like, I feel like it again, this is a very unique take. And I appreciate that. I like it because it's something different. The slasher genre has been done and done and done 1,000 times. There's a specific formula that people that have to follow, and they kind of do their own thing with the Scream movies, kind of did their own thing with it, but you're still sticking to a particular blueprint to a degree. This movie said, fuck your blueprint. We're just playing this from the killer's perspective. And yes, there is a lot of plotting around through the woods. There are several scenes. But thankfully, they're shot in a way where it's kind of like an art house feel where it's very centered. There's some good cinematography. It looks really, really good. But there is still always this constant, like, looming dread. Because you know he's going to stumble upon somebody at some point.
Right. It's almost like you have to get through that because there's going to be a payoff.
Yeah, and I said that on the TikTok that we put out last week. If you can be patient and appreciate what they're trying to do with this movie, you will be rewarded with some of the gnarliest fucking kills we've seen in the last 10, 15 years.
Absolutely.
All relying on practical effects.
Yep.
None of the fucking CGI blood stuff. You are going to get some of the gnarliest fucking kills you're going to see in a movie in quite some time.
Absolutely.
Now, look, say what you will about the walking through the woods. I get it, man. But, like, again, this is a risk. This is something that I just never thought I wanted to see. And would I watch, like, a sequel to this? Probably not, because I feel unless I could just skip to the kills. But I'm glad I went to see this. I'm glad I got to experience it. Is this the best horror movie I've ever seen? No. But is it unique, and was it rewarding, and did I have a good time with it? Mm-hmm. Yes. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It is like at 130 minutes or 90 minutes, an hour and a half. It doesn't overstay its welcome. And like I said, when you get to the end and the final big kills are really good, I would say if there's one complaint, Tone, it might be the ending.
A little long in the tooth at that part, right?
A little anticlimactic, but there is something in the story. Because basically what happens at the end of the movie, the perspective shifts to the last girl, if you will, and there's kind of like this monologue that happens, and it's a little long in the tooth, but there is something in what she's saying that kind of goes back to what they're talking about. The I don't think they're counselors, but the victims. They're talking about how, like, they're always trying to, like, erase the memory of what really happened here. They try to change the story, and you can kind of see that effect through this lady's story about how like
It's almost like she's trying to convince her
that what you experienced
is
wasn't
not
what you
think.
experienced.
Yeah. So it's definitely long and through, and I think the ending also like was a little open to interpretation as well too, just a little bit too, which was a little interesting as well too.
Which is a kind of like a step aside from what you're used to seeing in slashers in terms of the finale
there too.
So I mean, like, look, is this a movie that everyone's gonna like? No, but I just like I said, man, I love the perspective of it. I love the risk involved. I like that it's very unique, and again, it is absolutely worth it when you get to the kills.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like 2 or 3 where you're just like, what?
Yeah.
And there's one in particular, and you'll see people talk about. I won't say what happens, but it just involves a boulder. Yeah. And I'm still trying to figure out how they didn't kill the actor in the process.
I mean, it's like Saw level gore at that point.
Oh,
like,
it is.
It's fucking.
It is really gory.
Yeah,
it is very violent. And again, with the practical effects, you can tell that it's practical effects. But Jesus, does it look good?
God, yeah.
It looks really good. But I do want to get people's thoughts on this. I don't think anyone's. And keep in mind, this movie will be dropping on Shudder later this year. If it's anything to go by with the what was the devil movie we just saw? Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah.
It'll kind of drop in maybe like a month after it's released. So this should be on Shudder by the end of the month in June. If you get a chance to watch it, let us know your thoughts on it. I think it's a pretty cool idea. I think it's a very unique experience. I don't think it needs to be a franchise. I don't think we need more of them. I just thought it was really cool to get from the perspective of the killer. It's got everything else that you would want in a Friday the 13th movie. It's just you're with Jason the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's all he was missing was the hockey mask, which is fine. And, the only thing they could do if they did a franchise of this would perspective of similar, like, other villains.
Like a Freddy Krueger from his perspective.
That would be kind of neat.
I would be curious. I would be curious.
I mean, if these people are involved, that would be great.
I think out of all those, though, I think the one I'd want to see is Freddy because I want to know what Freddy's doing in the meantime because he's probably in some fucking weird universe.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Whereas like Jason's just walking through the woods and Michael's usually just standing outside of a schoolhouse in the trees. I mean, that might not translate well, but like something from like Friday the 13th or Chucky, like Child's Play. Like, what's Chucky doing? Oh, actually, you can see that in the show. I want the perspective of the pet,
like Pet Cemetery,
like in Pet Cemetery. Like what's the cat's
or just
name?
Generally, I wonder.
Church. I think that was the cat's name. Yeah. See what Church is doing the whole show.
No,
just kind of licking his crotch. Fuck yeah, dude.
I wish I could. No. So honestly, like I don't really have anything else really much to add to that because I feel like that's kind of just how I feel about it. Like. I really enjoyed this movie. I don't know it was great. Clearly, it was really good. I had a great time. I'm glad I saw it. Thought the end was long in the tooth, but other than that, like, it's pretty fucking cool. Like,
I doubt we'll see another movie like this.
No, right. And so you have to be very open minded about it. You have to know what you're going to get into, and there's going to be some like interesting moments where it's just like almost downtime. But in those times, there's a lot of things going on, like sounds and what kind of pushes direction of the character. So. It's just really neat to be able to see something like this come through and actually do it effectively. And like, I'm sure there's other movies that have tried doing something similar. To my knowledge, I don't know clearly, but
it's not like this.
But it's just great to see something different. We complain a lot about reboots, remakes, and all this shit, and we got something new. So I think if anything, it's worth everybody's at least time to give it a chance because of that.
If you get one chance to see it, just watch it. And like I said, just go in with the expectation that this is not going to play out like the slashers of the 80s, like them. It's a different perspective on it, but god damn, those kills are fucking worth it.
My favorite part, I think, of the movie was when you actually get a close-up look of the character finally of himself, and he's got something he likes, and he's got the dude look on his face.
He did look like when he takes it, he does kind of look like Jason in is it part 8 where he has his mask off? Yeah, where he's like mommy, kind of look like that. One of the few horror movies where people cheer after. Dude, like I was laughing when the fucking kills happened. I was clapping. I was like, that's fucking rad. If it's not the boulder, I think it's Yoga Girl.
Wow, that's probably my favorite. I think that's kind of on the nose for me.
Oh man, when Yoga Girl happens, that's probably like the one kill where you're just like, oh, I mean, the first kill is pretty good. The guy with the headphones, I was like, oh, okay. But
No.
But you see how elaborate
Yogurt,
it gets with Yogurt Girl.
they go extra with that one. So, whatever.
So, yeah, let us know your thoughts. If you checked out In a Violent Nature, let us know in the comments below what you thought. We want to get your thoughts. Did you love it?
Tell us.
Did you hate it? Were there certain things that you liked about it? But yeah, man, this was everything that I had hoped it would be when I read about it. I was like, this sounds pretty rad, and it delivered in that regard. So